Welcome to Loving God and Loving Life. We're in Acts chapter 12, where the theme is the martyrdom of James, and an angel sets Peter free from prison. It's quite a contrast here as James is killed and Peter is saved. Now, why is that? Why does the one get killed and the other get saved? Well, I've heard different definitions or ideas, but the first idea you might have is, James just isn't as important as Peter. It's kind of like the old Star Trek TV shows. You always knew when they went down to a planet and they sent the expendable crewmen. A face you didn't recognize was down there on the mission. Well, you knew that guy was probably going to get bumped because, he just wasn't that important to the show. Well, guys, James is one of the inner three. Remember those stories where the Bible talks about, during Jesus' ministry, he had three that went with him to the Mount of Transfiguration when Jesus was transfigured and Moses and Elijah show up. James is one of those three. In the Garden of Gethsemane, a lot of examples where there was only three. James is one of those. This is no expendable crewman. I've heard another explanation being, this chapter records their prayer, and they prayed in faith for Peter, and it was their faith that made the difference. Really? It was their faith. And by that thinking, then, it's the prayer of faith that makes every difference. Well, as we read the chapter, this interesting occasion when Peter actually gets released, right? So they're praying. There's these people meeting in a home. They're praying. And Peter, the angel, releases Peter, and he goes to the home where they're praying. So get the picture. They're behind this door having a prayer meeting for his release, and he's standing outside the door. The answer to their prayer is now knocking at their door. Well, this woman comes and hears him knock. She hears his voice outside. She goes back to the people and tells them it's Peter. And listen to their words. They said, "You're out of your mind," they said. Here's the bottom line. They said, "There's not a chance in the world. You're out of your mind. You're crazy to think that God could answer our prayers in such a radical fashion." They had zero expectation of that kind of an answer. What is the point? It's really clear here. They were praying for something that they didn't have perfect faith for. They couldn't say that I perfectly believe this is exactly going to happen exactly this way. Gang, don't limit your prayers to things that you can perfectly believe for. They didn't. They were praying for things that they didn't actually expect exactly this way, but God is bigger than your faith. Is that not good news? That God is bigger than my faith? Everything doesn't ride on my faith. God has a will of his own, a mind of his own, power of his own. Now, our prayers are massively, massively important. Absolutely. But don't believe that lie that everything rides on your prayer and your faith. Once again, we see the truth. He's the horse out in front of this cart. And even our prayers are to be led by the faith that we serve a God who's bigger than my faith, bigger than my prayers, and I trust him to do amazing, amazing things. Let's pray today. God, today, I expect you today, God, to send me one person today to share your love with. Friends, I hope you never forget that loving God, it's truly the only way to love your life.